4:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 17th, 2024. It's about 45 degrees outside, cold. The wind is blowing strong from the north. It's going to get down below freezing tonight. But the good news is it's going to bounce right back, get warm, and hopefully by Thursday we'll be almost to 80 degrees. The forecast is like 78 degrees or something like that. No new calves to report right now. I moved the water. I moved the animals to the next area, gave a new bale of hay. I'm really proud of myself. I think I'm some kind of genius because I invented a totally new way to feed hay to cows. I'm being sarcastic, but I figured out that if I put the hay on its side, I can pull the netting off really easy, and I don't have to fish the netting out of a hay pile that's typically covered with manure and urine and stuff like that. But I chose one of the worst spots of this part of the pasture to put the bale of hay. The idea being that the cows will spread it out somewhat, trample it into the ground a little bit more, and until I get a real bale and roller. This is pretty much what I have to do. I was using the side-by-side to unroll the bales of hay, but that was bending the front guard there to the point where it's almost impossible to open the hood. So I need to go in there and bend it back somehow. I have an idea on how to do that. But yeah, no new calves. I was running the math again. I like to run math and simulations and things like that. And I had this big complicated spreadsheet to figure out which animals I should sell when and all that kind of stuff. But I realized it's a really simple formula for figuring out how many cows you keep and what you do. The long and the short of it is it kind of doesn't matter what I do with the cows. They'll all pretty much make about $15,000 per animal unit per year, right? And so if I wanted to make $100,000 a year, I would need to have like 75 animal units, I think it was, something like that. 60 animal units, 75, something like that. Regardless, this operation here, in terms of cattle, if I just ran cattle, and if I was able to get the soil fertility up and the stocking capacity is how many animals you can run on your land before overgrazing. I might be able to get up to 1 animal unit per acre. And then in my wildest dreams, maybe 2. All while paying the same for the land, right? But with cattle, that really doesn't amount to very much money, It's certainly not anything to really write home about and say, hey, we got to get in the cattle business. Now, sheep are a different story. Sheep make about as much as a cow. Each sheep is worth about as much as a cow in your operation. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, okay? The nice thing about sheep is they are ready to go in a year. They get to weight quick, and they sell quick, right? And sheep have some other benefits too, right? Obviously, sheep have drawbacks as well, but the nice thing about sheep is you can run 8 times as many per animal unit. And so even though each sheep might make a little less than a cow, 8 sheep will definitely make a lot more than 1 cow, right? We're talking at least 6 or 7 times. So it makes a lot of sense to run sheep in terms of making money. Also, the investment for sheep is a lot less in terms of infrastructure. No, it's probably slightly more because you need to have better fencing, right? And you need the guard dogs and all that kind of stuff. But the catch is that there's sheep in a warm, wet climate like ours get infected with parasites. And my neighbor down the street, he's getting out of the sheep business. He told me, he says he loses too many. So he's running Dorper, right? Dorper is known for putting on a lot of weight very quickly, making good money. But Dorper is also very susceptible to parasites, right? So unless you're going to bathe your field in insecticide and different chemicals to try to keep the worms out of your sheep, you probably can't run Dorper, right? But I'm going to look into, it's hard to find St. Croix. I just don't know where to look for St. Croix. But I do want to buy a St. Croix herd. If I can, I'd buy 300 of them right now. I certainly have the money to, but I don't have the availability. And Greg Judy, he runs a Katahdin mix with St. Croix. So I'm going to look at Katahdin as well. And whether I mix them or not, you know, I guess there's some benefits to registered animals and stuff like that, but I don't know if that's really the direction I want to go. You know, I think I was studying this like several years ago about whether you should do purebred or whether you should mix. And the answer is mix. The reason why is there's just a strength to mixing. The crossbreeds just tend to do better than the original breeds do, right? And really the focus has got to be on culling the animals that don't perform well, right? So what I think I'm going to do is over the next couple decade probably is I'm just going to cull 2 or 3 cows a year, go sell them at the sale barn, the 2 or 3 ones that don't fit my operation the best. I'm going to bring up 2 or 3 more heifers each year, right? And I think this is about the right herd size for my property right now with the amount of grass it produces, right? And I don't want to get too big too quick, you know. And I do want to leave plenty of room for the sheep. So I don't want to use all my forage for the cows and leave nothing for the sheep if at some point I do get sheep, right? But the nice thing about cows is they sell whenever you want to. I can go to the sale barn and buy more. They won't be the best cows in the world, but they will be cows. They will go moo. And I could probably find people willing to sell direct as well, right? Which is probably how I should sell my cows as well. So that's what I got for you guys. No new calves today, which is fine. But I've been thinking a lot about those things lately. And this is probably going to be the last cold blast of the year. So my wife and I, we want to try planting some Korean staples. There's something called moo in Korean, moo-oo. It's the Korean style daikon radish. We want to plant some of that, which I know is good for the soil. I know lots of people plant it to break up the soil. I don't know if I have that problem in my soil, but the other one we wanted to plant just because we like it so much is the beichu. That's the Napa cabbage. And there's a couple other things. I think peppers would do well down here too. So, we're finding that we just love peppers. We are buying canned peppers. We're buying pickled peppers. We just enjoy peppers on basically everything. And we had some peppers from last year. We bought starters from the store. And they're a little bit spicy, but they were extremely good. And so we're probably going to plant a bunch of those. Maybe take the seed from the peppers that we got, that we saved, and see what we get out of that. But there's a couple other crops that we want to grow on a small scale, mostly for our own purposes, but also just to kind of explore to see what it does with the soil. And my plan right now is to take one of the corners of the field, put up the netting to keep animals out as much as possible, and build a little farm inside. Now, whether or not the deer and the sheep or whatever jump the fence and eat the crops, you know, it's not really a big deal for us. You know, I'm not too concerned about that happening. I don't want it to happen, but it's more just an exploration to see what will happen. So guys, that's what we got for you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.